All right, so here's what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about is what to do and how to follow up with a lead once it comes in, right? So we're going to teach you guys a proven method that has worked with our referral partners to be able to get better communication with the buyer, but really find out the information that you need to know to be able to help the buyer. So the first thing you do, you're going to pick up the phone once this lead comes in from one of our lead gen platforms, and what you're going to do is you're going to pick up the phone and you're going to reach out to them. And when they answer, you're not going to ask them, so where do you want to live? Right? Because they're like, I don't know, you're supposed to be the expert. So the first question I want you guys to ask is, what's important to you in a community? You know, a lot of places have a lot of similarities. For example, here in the Houston area, there's Sienna Plantation and Riverstone, and they both are developed by the same developer, Johnson Development. But one has a golf course community and one is not. Now they both have Fort Bend schools. One goes to Clements and Elkins, one goes to the school in Sienna. Both great options, right? But if someone comes in and they say that they come in off of a funnel for Sienna Plantation, and when you ask them what's the most important to you in a community, and they start telling you golf course, then in the back of your mind you might be thinking Sienna Plantation over Riverstone. All right. The next question that we want you guys to ask is, in your next home purchase, what's the most important room in the house and why? Now there's two reasons we want to know this. One, obviously we want to know what homes to show. For example, if they tell you a media room is very important, we don't want to show them homes that don't have media rooms. But more importantly than that, what we want to do is we want you to ask for the sale in the most important room. If everything in the house works out perfectly and then you're in that most important room, you ask them for the sale, that's the place to get the close. All right, then the next question of course is going to be, so what is your price point? If their price point's $300,000, we don't want to send them homes for $150,000, and we also don't want to send them homes for $600,000, right? We want to send them what they're looking for. The fourth question that you're going to ask is, what's your time frame? This is very important. For whatever reason, people don't like to ask what that time frame is. We need to know, are you looking 30 days, 60 days, 120 days? Are you looking a year from now? If they tell you a year, then what you need to do is ask them, well, why is it a year? If they tell you, well, they need to work on their credit, not a problem. Tell you what, let's get you into credit restoration now, not credit repair, credit restoration, because words matter, but let's get you in credit restoration now so you'll be ready to buy. Many people just need to know where to start from. So we're going to find that out, right? They might tell you it's 6 months. Well, why is it 6 months? Well, my lease is not up on my apartment for 6 months. Now you got to get approval potentially from your broker, but you might want to say, hey, not a problem. It's going to take us 30 to 60 days to find a house and then another 30 to 45 days to close on a house. Then you're going to skip some payments. Or if we find the perfect house now, and I could get you out of that lease that you're currently in at no cost to you, would that be something of interest to you? And I'm sure many of you guys would pay a $1,500 lease off to get a $9,000 commission on a $300,000 purchase. So that's another one. Now here's where you guys tend to make the mistakes. This is where real estate agents tend to drop the ball. When you ask the question, are you currently working with an agent? And they say, yeah, I'm working with an agent. What do you guys usually do? You hang up the phone. We don't want to hang up the phone, right? What we want to do is say, you know what, that's not a problem, Mr. Smith. See, here's the thing. You requested some information from us. So we want to make sure that you get the information that you are looking for. Remember, our ads clearly state that we're working with agents. So if they were getting everything that they needed from their agent, then they probably wouldn't be filling out the form. Now here's the real reality. Most of these people are not working with an agent. Here's what we know. They probably know an agent because let's face it, there are a lot of agents out there. But think about this scenario. When you walk into a shoe store and you say, someone comes up and they say, hey, thank you for coming in today. How can I help you? What do we say? Oh, no, I'm just looking, right? But here's the problem. As soon as we find what we're looking for, next thing you know, we're like, hey, where'd that guy go? So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are not helping a customer that we could really help. So when we're like, hey, we're just looking, we don't need help with the shoes, and then we're like, hey, where'd they go? We have been auto-conditioned by society to say that, hey, back up, let me look. The same thing has happened in the real estate buying, right? No, I'm working with an agent. So when you do this approach, you say, not a problem that you're working with an agent. Here's the thing, you requested this information, so sir, I want to make sure that you get the information you requested. So here's what I'm going to do for you. Today is Wednesday. I'm going to send you a list based on all those 3 to 5, based on all that information I just took from you, right? What's important in your community, what's the most important room in the house and why, price point, all those things. I'm going to take that information, I'm going to send you a list starting today, 3 to 5 listings. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send it today and every other Wednesday, right? Just a list of homes. Here's all I ask in return. Well, first you want to ask them, is that fair, right? Get agreement. Yeah, that's fair. Great, here's all I ask in return. Can I call you next Wednesday and every other Wednesday after that? Because I want to do two things, sir. I want to make sure, one, you got the list that I sent last week, and two, that if anything in your search criteria changes, I can update it for the following week. Is that fair? And when they say yes, here's the reality. Where have you asked to represent them? Nowhere. Right now, you're just a good Samaritan. Remember, these leads are coming in off of double opt-in pages. And so when they double opt-in, they have now given us permission to follow up with them. So that's what we want to do. So think about this. The last question you want to ask them, right, is stop asking people if they're pre-qualified. I know that's really hard for real estate agents, but here's the question that is much better. Have you spoken to a lender to find out what your purchasing power is? See, pre-qualified is we have to stop doing things to people and start doing things for people. So when we ask someone if they're pre-qualified, it's like, well, wait a second, you want me to talk to your third-party lender who's then going to judge me and tell me whether or not I'm good enough to get in your car. See, when we ask that question, so have you spoken to a lender to find out what's your purchasing power? See, at that point, it's like, ooh, that's exciting, purchasing power, let's go buy something. And that's what we want, because if you've ever noticed, there's typically a disconnect, how they're all excited about the community, they're all excited about the house, and then when you ask that question, are you pre-qualified? They get nervous and they never reach out to the lender, or they don't return our phone calls. But if we're there to help them find out what their purchasing power is, it's going to be a much smoother transition. Now the reality is maybe their purchasing power is 0. That means they don't qualify. But what we can then do is we've built some rapport over time, and what we're going to be able to do is help put them on a game plan to be a buyer later. Now remember, not all of these leads are going to be able to buy right away. Some of these are going to be 60, 90, 120 days. But here's what we do know. 70% of people go with whoever provides the most value. Think about that. 70% of people go with whoever provides the most value. So if you provide value and you do exactly what you say you're going to do, you're going to differentiate yourself from the marketplace. Remember, that's what this is all about, is how do you differentiate yourself from the 40,000 agents that are registered in Houston? Trust is actions built over time. See, here's the real problem. Do you send the list today? Yeah, probably, because it's Wednesday. But do you call next week to follow up and make sure they got it? Probably not, because you get busy. Do you send it the following week? Probably not, because you got busy. See, what I want you to do is get out of the mindset of this 30-day money right in front of you. I want to help you build a pipeline of 30, 60, 90, 120-day money. If we build a big enough pipeline, you'll never have to worry about where your next deal comes from. And that's what we want to do. In the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to make that FU money. That's more money than you've ever made. But the reality is money is made in the follow-up. And we have a proven system that agents are using, that I've used myself, that have generated more sales. And that's what we're really trying to do, is help you close more sales. Because here's our goal, just like we talked about before, this video, is we want to give you a minimum of 5 potential purchase referral leads a month. That's 60 a year. Even if you don't do a great job and you only close 10% of those, that's still 6 more deals this year than you had last year. Let's just say the average sales price is $300,000 right now in your marketplace. That's an extra $54,000 we are going to put in your pocket. Is the lender you've currently been using putting $54,000 in your pocket? Now we're going to show you how to build your brand and your business organically, so we believe that we're putting about $100,000 in our real estate referral partners' pockets by what we teach them and what we provide. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out. Me and my team, we're always ready to answer, because we truly believe that if we help you build your business and grow it, we'll be just fine. Thanks.